All right. How's everybody doing? Good? For those that don't know me, I'm going to give you guys probably a 2-minute rundown, and then we're going to talk about where we see the opportunity moving forward. So for those that don't know me, my name is Luke Belmar. I'm a digital entrepreneur, quite known on the internet for crypto, e-commerce, and what I like to call the digital gold rush. I come from Argentina. I went to the United States in the year 2012, 2013, at the age of 16, with $200 in a suitcase. A lot of dreams, a lot of ambitions, a lot of aspirations, hopes, and I could see the potential, but I didn't have much. So with $200 in a suitcase, I would do what any immigrant would do, which is start working, all sorts of odd jobs, things that many of you guys have already done. Pressure washing basketball courts, cleaning toilets, working at restaurants, finding the next opportunity. Who here has heard about the American dream? Well, what I realized when I landed in the United States was that the American dream was dead. And I was like, oh, okay. So what is the next opportunity? Because I've been sold this thing that, the American dream is the end all be all. Buy that house, find that girl, get that car, get that job, and then sit back and relax. But then when I landed in the United States, I realized it wasn't that case. The year was 2016. I was waiting tables in a restaurant, and a fellow server came to me and said, hey, have you heard about the stock market? At the time, a new application had just rolled out, known as Robinhood. Who here has heard of the application Robinhood? It was the first way for retail and normies to get introduced into the markets. So I started reading about the stock market. Reminiscence of a Stock Operator was the first book that I picked up. Trading in the Zone was the second book that I picked up. And eventually I started enjoying it. And I was like, okay, there's money here, but I don't have any money. So what do I have to do? Well, continue working all sorts of odd jobs to get there. I remember I lost $125. It was my first time. I was terrified. I closed my trade and I said, I don't want to do this anymore. A few days later, that same server comes to me and says, hey, have you heard about Bitcoin? At the time, Bitcoin was $588. I looked at Bitcoin and I said, okay, it's expensive for me. Let me get my credit card because I had no money. So let me get my credit card. I went on Bitstamp and bought my first 3 Bitcoin. Ever since then, I realized that this digital money is more than just digital money. There's an entire landscape that's taking place, an entire revolution that's occurring that I like to call the digital gold rush. The year is 1848, and in the eastern colonies of the United States, rumors begin to surface that in the West, they had found gold. Overnight, 300,000 migrants moved from east to west with the hopes of finding gold. Were they all miners? By profession? By trade? Not at all. Now the question is, who made the money? Who got rich during the gold rush of 1848? Was it just the first people, like Bitcoin in 2009, 2010, the first guys that were there? Were those the only ones that made the money? No. More people captured massive opportunity. For example, there was this one individual who used to work in the dry markets, and he would sit there like you guys are doing today, and he would listen to people identifying problems, and he began to realize that every miner was complaining about 2 things. One, that their pants couldn't hold their tools, that their pants were ripping, and that when they were sitting down or kneeling, their knees would hurt. His name, Levi Strauss, creator of denim jeans. Did he mine for gold? No. But he identified an opportunity in the gold rush that allowed him to get rich. So when you're looking at crypto, or you're looking at these markets, do you have to be a project founder in order to win? No, not necessarily. You have to be able to identify problems, because where there's problems, there's profit. The reason I'm sharing this with you guys is because I want to reframe your perspective as to where you are today. So in the gold rush of 1848, it wasn't just the miners that got rich. There was a 200-year industry that was created. Where you stand today is year 15 of a 200-year industry, the digital gold rush. But unlike 1848, you don't have to deal with treacherous animals, dangerous terrains, thieves that want to kill you and take your gold. You don't have to deal with that. So my question to you guys today is, what is your position in the digital gold rush? How are you going to capitalize on this 200-year industry? Are you merely looking at a 15% swing in your portfolio? Or are you understanding that for the next 80 to 100 years, this industry is only growing and getting bigger and stronger? When you reframe that perspective, you begin to think about things a little bit differently. You begin to zoom out and understand that there's a bigger play at hand. Now remember, it's not just crypto, because crypto is just merely the financial instrument that we're utilizing in the internet. But I need you guys to reframe how you think about the internet. The US government considers there to be 5 domains of existence: land, sea, air, space, and now the 5th domain, cyberspace. It's up for grabs. The land is there. The opportunity is there. The question is, will you capture it? Will you claim your stake? Will you provide value, and will you solve problems? If you're here just because of a quick bag, you're missing the perspective. You're missing the game. When you understand that this is about generational plays, this is about positioning yourself, your family, long-term to capitalize on this industry, you begin to move differently. So as this digital gold rush evolves, and as this digital gold rush begins to take form, understand that you are at an early stage. You are at year 15 of a 200-year industry. Do you think that the people that initially mined the gold ended up keeping it? No. Transfer of wealth occurs when value is provided. So as you mingle and as you interact with people over the next couple days, my encouragement for you guys is to have a long-term perspective. Understand that you are the pioneers of this new industry. The last thing you want to do is to see the opportunity, know that it's there, and miss out because you're thinking about one bull run cycle. You're optimizing for one bear market. I'm thinking about 10 cycles. I'm thinking about how do I pass my Bitcoin down to my kids? And if you're not thinking that way, you're missing the picture. So today's keynote was supposed to be technical. I was going to talk to you guys why the bank sucks and why the bank is a scam, but you guys already know all these things. The question is, what are you going to do about it? This week, you have the opportunity to position yourself in a very special way to take advantage of this industry. Whether you do or don't is irrelevant, because if you don't provide the value, if you don't provide the service, somebody else will. When you're early, that's when the money's made. When you're early, that's when the opportunity gets captured. Don't look at Bitcoin as an individual unit. Look at the industry. In order for you to capitalize on this industry, you need to make sure that there's 2 ingredients. And these 2 ingredients are something that today we don't see in traditional finance. It's something that we don't really see in the traditional social media world, which is ownership of what? Transaction, and ownership of communication. Today, unlike ever before, you can own what you work on. You can own your crypto. You can own your means of communication, like Telegram or the open network. Blockchain, crypto, this new industry, this new revolution that's at hand, gives you the opportunity to own what you work on. So you will either be an actor on the stage of history, or you will be seated watching history take place. The choice is yours. The world is yours for the taking. The digital gold rush is here. The question is, will you capture it? I hope so.